A sudden windfall in money can sometimes seem like a blessing and a burden, and it often comes with more questions than answers. What do I do, and how do I make this last for generations to come? I'm Rob Shelton, founder of Axio Wealth Management, and we help family stewards turn wealth into legacy with clarity and purpose and peace of mind. If you've recently come into sudden wealth, perhaps from the sale of a business, an inheritance, a legal settlement, or an investment exit, this episode is for you.
Welcome in. This is Legacy Beyond Wealth. Glad to have you on the show once more. I'm Ben George with Rob Shelton, as he mentioned, founder of Axio Wealth Management. Got a good topic. It's about stewardship. And again, a very important concept to you guys at Axio Wealth. I know this is so important, the family aspect and helping families kind of reach that maximum potential and take care of multiple generations has always kind of been the core principles that you kind of follow, isn't it?
It is. Absolutely. When you think about the word stewardship, that's a heavy word to me sometimes. It means a lot of responsibility, right? That comes into it. And so where we find that we work really well is with those individuals that have that family stewardship as a key goal, that they understand the responsibility of the family and providing for that family and take that real serious. And, today we want to talk just a little bit about what that means when you involve that with maybe sudden wealth that might come along the way.
Yeah, and if you kind of fall in this category, we hope that this video is very informational for you and educational as well. But we also always encourage you to schedule a discovery call too. If you have any questions, you want to begin kind of exploring this idea a little bit more with Rob and the team at Axio Wealth, go to axiowm.com. All the contact information is in the show description as well. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that as well. So this idea of stewardship is an interesting one, Rob, and it's probably not one that everyone's that familiar with. And it's different than just a wealth manager, isn't it?
It is. And, a lot of times as I meet with a lot of successful families, one of their major reasons or driving force behind what they do is to provide for their family. We're kind of in that season of school being out and looking at family vacations and trying to build those relationships. And myself, I've got a child that'll be a senior this year, and all of a sudden, boy, that anxiety jumps in me that, he'll be out of the house potentially in a year from now, moving on to that next stage in life. And, you look at it, and most of these successful families feel blessed that they're in a position that they've had the financial resources, but that stewardship can be pretty daunting at times. And we want to make sure that you understand the responsibility with purpose and with vision. It's not just seeing your wealth as something you've earned, but as something that can really benefit the family for generations.
And this is probably a conversation starter for a lot of people when they come in and meet with you. So let's kind of dive into a little bit for anyone that's in this situation where maybe they come into a sudden windfall. And again, you mentioned it could be a great opportunity. And no matter where it comes from, what would a steward do first? What's the first step they would do for stewardship?
Yeah, I think it's really all about the mindset. I'm thinking about a couple of individuals that recently came in through a legal settlement, and very blue collar individuals who happen to have a pretty big legal settlement due to some injuries that they had suffered, and justly so that they be compensated for those injuries. And, it's interesting to see them go, I've never imagined ever having this kind of money before. And again, it was all about, how do I protect this? How do I be able to keep this for my money, for my family, to be able to ensure that we can have this be a blessing to them and not necessarily a curse, because money can have a way of dividing you as well away from those people that are most precious to you. And so having that right mindset is so important.
And with that mindset, I imagine it's got to be pretty tough to sink into that and kind of accept kind of the new reality of things, because things happen so quickly and you kind of have this newfound money that you never envisioned in your life and never had plans for. It's important probably to take it slow and really kind of collect yourself and get everything together before you start making any decisions.
Yeah, and another big part of that is confidentiality. Anyone that we see have that happen, sometimes we've had clients that have a big exit in a business, and that might make it big on the news, and there's no way to kind of keep that really confidential. I had one client that had a big exit that direction, and it was all over the news, and He just, told me that day that the news broke, he had 30 financial advisors reaching out to him on LinkedIn,
Wow.
trying to offer him advice, not to mention family, friends, relatives, all of that have their opinions and ideas of what to be able to do. And so we have found it to be able to keep that really confidential until you have a chance to be able to have that mindset change, because it might be like a fire hose all of a sudden with everyone giving you ideas and suggestions. And it might be like a little bit of a deer in the headlights. And so we always say you want to take advice from qualified individuals, and sometimes family members and friends and even some professionals out there may not always be the most qualified to help you.
Yeah, I can't imagine what that position would be. I mean, maybe I'll be lucky enough one day to win a lottery and be in that position to have the fire hose just streaming at me. But for those that have to do experience, I know it's important to have someone on your side, a team on your side like that. So let's just assume, you get to that point of clarity. You kind of have that sense of calm and clarity on kind of how you want to move forward. What comes next?
Yeah, really to protect that family interest, we want to put together what we call a family framework or a family constitution, or basically we're writing out what the intent is of where we want the family to be able to go. The money isn't the destination, it's the vehicle to help us get to that destination. And we don't want that vehicle to become a wedge in any family relationships. We want to make sure that's clearly spelled out so our money is in alignment with enhancing those relationships and not built upon divisions. And that helps to be able to direct what type of instruments might be good for the family, whether that be different types of trusts that are utilized, or donor advised funds, or foundations, or charity work, or any of that type of thing. We want to use this as kind of a filtering system with this family constitution to make sure we're really driving to add back to the most important thing, which is the family values and the whole reason that this money even exists to begin with.
Are you ready to unlock the freedom to live your best life? Schedule your no-cost 60-minute discovery meeting with our team today. During this session, we'll take the time to understand your family story and financial dreams. Together, we'll craft a personalized roadmap designed to help you achieve your goals. Let's explore how we can unlock the freedom for you and your family to thrive. Just click the link in the description of today's show to get started.
Yeah, it's a lot. And I'm sure, for stewards that are watching or listening to this episode and kind of thinking through this situation, I'm sure there's a big sense of being overwhelmed, right? By a financial event like this is so significant in your life. So for someone that's in that position, maybe that does feel that emotion, what would you tell them?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, get that professional to help you. Get that person, like we always talk about, that fiduciary, again, meaning that someone that's going to act in your best interest. And there's a lot of people that are out there that provide that service or claim that they provide that service. And if I could real quick, Ben, just to share with you, recently we met with an individual similar in this situation. And they said, if you were in our shoes, what would you do? And I gave them a few pieces of advice of what to do to research that professional. And one such was ask for references. So we provided them with 3 references. Of course, we got the client's permission ahead of time to be able to provide those as references. And in a follow-up meeting, I asked them if they contacted our references. They said, oh, no, we didn't even have to, because everybody else claimed it, but they would never, ever provide us with actual references for us to be able to call. And so I think taking the standard of care of really finding that trusted professional that you could work with is critical. Number 2 is to be able to reflect on your family's values and future needs, and getting that family constitution written down for you, and then build a long-term view in mind, 25 years, 30 years out, even 100 years from now. What do you really want this windfall to be able to do? And how does that align with the family values of what you're trying to be able to accomplish?
How hard is it for people to think that way, Rob? Because that's not something we do every day, right? A lot of the times we're just kind of worried about our family, the next day, month, year. To think that far ahead and to plan that far ahead, how difficult is that for people?
It isn't if you're working with the right professional. And I think it's hard if you're trying to do it on your own or with someone that's trying to do it for the first time or really doesn't have experience or expertise in it. I love to see a couple's face just light up as they start to be able to see and capture a vision. Sometimes we need people in our lives that can help stretch us. I think about a sports athlete and a coach that can see the potential and the ability to help that individual gain a bigger perspective or a bigger vision than what they can be able to see. And that's really where our specialty comes in, whether it's a virtual whiteboard over a Zoom call or in our office. I love the lighting up of clients' faces when their vision has enlarged to be able to see what's really possible for them.
And it really goes back to the whole idea behind the show, right? Legacy beyond wealth. It's so much more than just dollars.
You know, Ben, you and I both work really hard, and you know, there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that go into creating wealth, and clients are no different out there. And I think the saddest thing that I see out there is you work so hard for these things, but it's just misaligned, and it ends up creating a different life than what you really wanted to. And that's our whole purpose here, is to help you unlock the financial freedom to live your best life.
So for those that are maybe in a position where you just had the sudden windfall, again, you can set up a discovery call and sit down with the team at Axio Wealth Management, kind of learn what that fiduciary and that process looks like and how it can help you, and really talk through some of these goals and that long-term thinking that Rob and the team do there. And again, Rob, that's kind of a lot of the things you'll discuss in that initial call, right? For someone that comes through this is some of the things we talked about today.
Absolutely. And part of that we didn't even touch on is a little bit about their fears. You know what I mean? And you can't address a client's goals and objectives without understanding what their fears and concerns are as well. And so we look forward to anyone that wants to jump onto that discovery call. And our commitment is to use that. I believe you'll see significant value in at least jumping through the discovery process, even if we decide not to work together.
Yeah, Axio is specialized in comprehensive wealth management, is tailored for successful families. And hopefully this video gives you a little sense of that and kind of how that's achieved through their process with their clients. But if you have any questions, we always encourage you to reach out, and all the contact information is in the show description today. But if you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe. That's all we ask. Help us continue to grow the channel and help get the message out there. But we appreciate the time as always today, Rob.
Thanks.